We just got all 4 iPhone 15 models in the studio, so let's take a look at all the main changes. But first, a quick word from Spigen, our sponsor. Spigen's new range of cases for the new iPhone 15 Pros. It gives you the edge in protection, style and convenience. Check out Spigen by using the link below as well as later in the video. And now back to the video, let's take a look at what's changed in terms of the boxes first. So compared to the 14s, the 15s have a different wallpaper which actually matches the color of the phone. So if you have a green phone, this is how the box would look like. Same goes for the Pro models. The wallpaper matches the color of the phone, and we do get a different wallpaper compared to the standard 15s. When it comes to the unboxing experience, it's basically the same as before, the only difference being the braided USB-C cable now and just holding both the 15 Pro and the old 14. For my hands, I gotta say the 15 Pro feels awesome. Like, it's hard to compare, it feels so much more comfortable because of the rounded edges, and I love the titanium finish. It's not as fingerprint, so you hope you can see that as the 14 Pro, and it just feels so much better, so much more comfortable, and it even feels more premium than the L14 Pro. And there's also a big difference when it comes to the 15 Pro Max. This feels so much better, way more comfortable in the hand. And this just feels so sharp of the old working Pro Max, and I'm excited. I'm honestly excited to start using the 15 Pro Max is my main phone for essentially the next year. This is a major upgrade in comfort and feel, compared to the old 14 Pro Max. And I gotta say, I'm actually very impressed with how thin the bezels are. Just take a look at that 15 Pro versus 14 Pro. The difference is definitely there. Absolutely love the way the 15 Pro looks even from the front. And one more thing, there's a substantial weight difference between the 14 Pro Max and the 15 Pro Max. Like, literally, this is very, very significant. So if you're coming from a 14 Pro Max or anything below that, including the 12 Pro Max, then you'll definitely love the 15 Pro Max quite a lot. Now, when it comes to the new colors, one of them is this blue titanium, which I actually looks quite similar to the purple iPhone 14 Pro, at least to my eyes, and very different to the Pacific blue on the iPhone 12 Pro, which was much lighter. So this is considerably darker. And also the camera rings, since they're now matte, they now match the color of the phone a bit better than before when they were glossy. And then the second new Pro color is natural titanium, which looks awesome. Like, this is, I haven't seen the space gray just yet, but so far this is my favorite color of the year. It looks amazing, and the fact that it's all matte on both the sides and the back, I just love that. And if you're looking for a cool new wallpaper for your beautiful device, check out our new app Wallpapers. You can download it for free on both iOS and Android. And to celebrate our launch, we're giving away an iPhone 15 and an iPhone 15 Pro. Here's how you can enter now. In terms of standard models, we get some more pastel colors. This is the green, which I think looks quite nice, but my favorite one is by far the new matte black iPhone 15, which has both matte black sides and a frosted glass matte black back. Now this is how it compares against the space gray iPhone 14 Pro. So the 15 is actually a bit darker, which I do really like, and this is how it compares against Apple's previous fully matte black iPhone, the iPhone 7 Plus. Now, as you can see, the 7 Plus was a tiny bit darker. Now Apple has also updated their case lineup this year with the new fine open material that replaces the old leather cases. Okay, so this is very weird. I've just tried it for a bit and I just don't like the feel of it. It feels like very, very low end clothes. No, wait, I don't know really what you're feeling. I'm honestly not a fan. Now the buttons are still made out of metal, which is nice, but the side is actually made out of silicone, whereas the back is of course made out of this fine woven material. So you get different materials rather than this continuous design that we had on leather cases. And like I said, this material just feels really weird, and I'm generally not a fan. And by the way, I've just noticed that if you scratch it, you can easily scratch it permanently, so that's not great. Durability is just not great on this case. And speaking of iPhone cases, Spigen's iPhone 15 Pro case lineup offers style and protection while featuring their Mac Fit design for Mac Safe. The Ultra Hybrid Mac Fit is made to last with drug clear attack, ensuring that it doesn't yellow over time like other cases do. Their new Ultra Hybrid Mac Fit S also offers a kickstand useful for hands-free viewing, and their new Ultra Hybrid colors look great too. I absolutely love this stealthy frost black. The Mac Armor Mac Fit has an updated chevron design which emphasizes a more modern approach of subtle contrast, which changes its look based on the angle that the light hits it from, which I especially love. On their navy blue, the popular Teardown 01 design now returns, showing your phone's internals, and a new white edition arrives in late September. Plus, each Mac Fit has been enhanced to be stronger than before, so your Macs of accessories work even better. Check out Spigen by using the links below. Okay, so now let's talk about the cameras. There are pretty much Two big upgrades this year: the switch from Smart HDR4 to Smart HDR5, which should improve HDR photos, and then the 5x zoom module on the iPhone 15 Pro Max compared to the 3x on the 15 Pro and the 14 Pro. If we take a look at his first image here, the HR processing looks almost identical until you zoom into the clouds, where you can see that the 15 Pro has indeed exposed them better. Same applies to the second photo right here, where the 14 Pro just blows out the sky completely, whereas the 15 Pro manages to expose it much better. So Smart HR5 doesn't seem to fix the blown out highlights issue, at least for the overcast days like this one. When it comes to the Ultroid, there are no major changes here, although the 15 Pro does have a slightly brighter image. Portrait mode shots were a bit strange, as I do think the 14 Pro did a better job here, with more contrast and a sharper image, especially if you take a look at my hair. So now let's compare the zooms. If you take a look at the lenses, you can actually see the difference between the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max, and if we take a look at a sample, to be honest, the difference isn't that big. If we take a look at a tree, they look almost the same, especially zoomed out. Now when you zoom in, you can see that the 15 Pro Max manages to show this sign much clearer than the 15 Pro, but yeah, I wouldn't really say that difference, at least at 5 axis, that much between the two. Now if we go up to 10x and compared to 15 Pro Max to the S23 Ultra, the S23 Ultra is better. It's got a cleaner image, it looks higher resolution, and that makes sense, as the S93 Ultra does have a 10x optical zoom lens compared to the 5x on the 15 Pro Max. And if we zoom all the way to 25x, which is the highest on the 15 Pro Max, the S23 Ultra is significantly sharper and more detailed at the same zoom level. Of course, on the S13 Ultra you can zoom in even further, up to 100x. So yeah, pretty much like I expected, the 15 Pro Max has a decent zoom, but still it cannot compete with the S23 Ultra. Now interested in the low light performance, since the 15 Pros have the same sensor as the 14 Pros, there isn't really much difference. In fact, in the second shot, the 15 Pro Max was worse than importing from Max. If you take a look at this plant right here, now the 15 Pros do have a new lens coating that reduces reflections, and it does seem to work really well. But other than that, the improvements just aren't that big. Now we will be doing a detailed camera comparison against different devices, so do stay tuned for that. Okay, now another big change is the change from the traditional mute switch that we've had ever since the first iPhone to the brand new action button. So the way the action button works is that if you press it once, it just shows you what the action button will do when you hold it, so you always have to hold it to enable that function, and by default it just switches between silent and ring mode. And then if you go into settings and then action button, you get this really nice menu, and you can customize what the whole gesture does. And for example, for the camera, you can switch between taking a photo or even a video, so that it automatically takes you to taking a video. So if we set it to the camera now, if you hold it, it will launch the camera. If you press it once, it will the photo. You also have the option for the flash, for the voice memos, for the magnifier, and even for a Siri shortcut in case you want to customize it to do basically anything accessibilities. And then if you want to keep it as I don't want an active button wherever, it would even do that, and you also have that option. I mean, in my case, I'm definitely going to use it to launch the camera. Hello Connor. But really, one of the biggest changes for most people is the switch from Lightning to USB Type-C. So if I simply plug in a USB Type-C cable, you can see that it charges both the 15 Pro, and the same applies to the regular iPhone 15. Now what's really cool about the iPhone 15 Pro models this year is that thanks to the Apple A17 Pro chip, they'll be able to play AAA console quality games like Assassin's Creed Mirage, Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil Village, and Death Stranding, but none of these are actually out just yet. They'll be coming later in the year. So in conclusion, based on my literally first impressions of the iPhones, I'm quite happy with the iPhone 15 line. Like, there are a lot of improvements that I've made, especially on the standard iPhone 15s. I love the frosted glass bag, the matte finish looks awesome, and the 15 Pros look awesome as well. I love the new colors, but I was just hoping for, I don't know, a bigger camera jump. Like, I was hoping for some bigger upgrades. Of course, we'll be doing an in-depth camera comparison soon against different phones, so we'll test that there. I'm also curious to test the battery life, and I don't know, I do hope that it gives us more options for the action button, because I think it has a lot of potential. But yeah, let us know what you guys think. Don't forget about wallpapers, it's free to download, and let us know what you think. We'll be improving it every single week. Thanks for your feedback. I'm Daniel, this means of tech, and yes, stay tuned for the next upcoming iPhone 15 videos. So I think signing out, cheers. Thank you. Bye bye.